Alright guys, I'm kicking it back on Easy Street this week, not working too hard. After the marathon I went through over the last couple weeks to get this installed. Now that we are all but across the finish line on this quarter panel install, I'm just coming out here this week to take my time and get some of these last couple things buttoned up. What I'm most excited about tackling here is the transition between the sail panel and where the quarter panel meets, this butt weld. This was something that I lost a lot of sleep over. And basically, I want to get this as cleaned up as possible and see how good I can make it look. In all honesty, it's hard for me to believe that a little over a year ago, I didn't know what I was doing when it came to any of this. So, hard work pays off. It's not perfect, but she looks pretty good. So, welcome to Grease Rookie Garage. Alright, so objective number one is to get this area looking pretty good. I'm going to have to break some of these tack welds and pull this out a little bit to get it more lined up. Keep in mind there was lead in this area they used to fill in, and while I was doing this I was thinking that, a lot of this was going to be covered up with, fiberglass filler. And I'm not exactly sure where that transition happens. So I want to get this as smooth as possible without filler so that whenever it comes time to do that, it should be easy peasy. Now, one thing I have come to realize in my year of doing this kind of stuff is if you're questioning more than a few times whether or not you should redo something, you should probably just redo it, because that's a good indicator that you actually care enough about it and how it's going to look, that it's going to bother you. So just rip the band-aid off and get her done. Also a good idea to pay attention to what you're doing and make sure you got your guard on your cutoff wheel. Part of me wanted to refilm that just so you guys didn't see it, but like I said, I'm on Easy Street this week. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. Now, one thing I forgot to mention in the last episode when I was welding this in, I originally said I wasn't going to change the heat settings. I was just going to try to do this section of the panel quicker. I did end up dropping my heat setting for this butt weld as opposed to my spot welds. I have 4 heat, this is a very simple welder. I have 4 heat settings and I dropped it down from basically 3 to 2. And then just played around with the wire speed until I got her dialed in. Part of me feels like, I don't know if you can hear that sizzling noise, that tss, whenever I'm welding this. I feel like some of the lead maybe is still on this section of the panel. It wasn't cleaned off all the way, and there's just not a good connection. I don't know, something to think about. Yeah, you hear that? It's not a good thing. Another thing it took me a while to figure out. If you're a newbie and you're burning holes through, try turning up your wire speed first before messing with your heat settings, because I found that if your wire's not going in fast enough, it can't fill the hole. I don't know the science of it. I just know that turning up your wire speed first was a better approach for me. Another thing I wanted to point out quick, I had some guys ask me after last week's episode if I had a big gap in here, which I don't. It was just a shadow from the way this light was casting. The panel is right up against the B-pillar for the most part. Up in here, there's a little bit of a gap, and you'll see right here, I had some questions about this. I'm not sure what's going on in here. The top of this quarter panel measures from the rocker panel up to the top. It's just under 1/8 of an inch higher on this side than it is on the other side, and that is consistent with measuring from there down. So this ended up being just a little bit higher on this side. I can't explain the massive gap other than this was off of another car, and I think maybe this is cut, I don't know. But I am going to fabricate metal and put that in there at some point. I hate words. They're math words even. The 1/8 of an inch really doesn't bother me. There's just going to be some things on this project that aren't perfect that I'm just going to have to come to terms with. Overall, at the end of the day, it's not noticeable from a distance, and again, overall, this side of the car looks significantly better now than it did the day I bought it, which is an absolute win. I want to show you how this quarter panel and wheelhouse meet up. Down here, they're tight, tight, tight. As you get up in here, they travel apart just a little bit, and they carry that trend the whole way around until it gets tight again in here, down and down and down. It's really not that much. Again, it's not even 1/8 of an inch. It's like a little over a 1/16. But what I'm gonna do, because it's still kind of weird to weld for me, is, where is it? Basically, I'm just gonna take this slide hammer. You can see that. It's out of focus, but you get the point. And clip it on that lip. I'm just going to go around and tap this and try to bring them a little bit closer. And then I'll weld them up. I really thought that was a great idea, but it wasn't. Keep in mind, this is not professional welding. But it's getting the job done. I'm still figuring this stuff out as I go. Sometimes I can hit that perfect bacon sizzling sound, and other times it just sounds like a wet fart. So here's how she's looking. Not too bad, cleaning up okay. Gets a little bit messy in here. I'm not sure why I'm getting so much sputtering in this area. I feel like that means that's got to be a bad connection. I think that there could still be remnants of lead in this area, and that could be throwing things off. I don't even know. It's possible that that could affect the integrity of the weld. I don't know. 5-10 years, yeah, I'll know this kind of stuff. But that is the whole reason I'm out here doing this. To figure it out. So it's coming along all right. She'll definitely look good from afar. FYI, I told you guys when I built this fume extractor, I also got this box fan and put a filter in front of it from Lowe's, got everything from Lowe's. It does a terrific job pulling the dust out of the air. I'm doing some sanding right now, so I figured I'd fire it up, and this is well worth. I think it's probably, I can't remember how much I paid for the fan and the filter. It's got to be under 50 bucks, so. And it does an awesome job moving the air and sucking the dust out. I got fumes in here too because I was getting kind of lazy with the extractor and putting it above my welds, but we'll be all right. See, I don't know if you can tell, I forgot to run my fan that round of grinding, and there's a little bit of haze in the air. If I run that box fan when I'm grinding, this doesn't occur. I mean, it cleans the air pretty rapidly. So that is a very cheap way to clean your air. Okay, pretty much everything's been buttoned up on this. There are some spot welds that I left out. I'll show you those in a second. But for now, let's look at how all the gaps have turned out. There is the door, which I'm very satisfied with that. Right here is one of those little imperfections I was telling you about, but for my first project car, I can live with that. Everything runs nicely along here. And along here, everything looks good. I'll close the trunk, show you guys how those gaps look. So with the trunk closed, oops, get the trunk closed all the way. Here's how these gaps look. So the trunk lid, it bows out just a little bit up here, but nothing real bad. I think that looks fine. Not gonna worry about it. Here's where I dropped the quarter panel and dinged it up. Still a little upset about that. So the trunk lid fits pretty good. The only real issue with this quarter panel install is right here. I thought that I had this fixed better than what it was, but clearly I don't. So when you look at this side compared to this side, obviously this is a bigger gap. This quarter panel sticks out a little bit further. I just measured it. The quarter panel is an 1/8 inch longer on this side. I have seen that on Joe Daddy's garage where he had to shorten it. I tried to split the difference with the quarter panel, but it just wasn't enough to make up for this. I don't know what I'm going to do about this yet. I'm not going to lose sleep over it right now. Overall, I'm incredibly happy with how this quarter panel looks. I mean, something like this, nobody's going to notice when I'm driving around town. And where this quarter panel is now compared to where it was when I bought the car, I mean, 100 times better. So this is a major win for me. Alright guys, so now it's time for a channel update. I mentioned that at the end of the last video, I was all but a zombie. I was exhausted. I've been doing 2 videos a week plus a live. And I've tried a bunch of different things. I've gone from doing 1 video a week to doing 2 videos a week to doing 2 videos a week and a live. And now I'm going to do something else. I'm pretty burnt out. I'm exhausted. So I'm going to start uploading videos when I finish sections of the car. So for example, my next phase of this project, while this whole area is still fresh in my head, is I'm going to do the passenger trunk floor pan, the passenger outer wheelhouse, and the passenger quarter panel. And I will upload a video each time I complete one of those segments. So when I complete the floor pan install, I'll upload that video. When I complete the outer wheelhouse, I'll upload that video. When I complete the quarter panel, I'll upload that video. And that'll take some stress off me because I'm really busy right now and I just can't do 2 videos a week plus a live. Just don't have a whole lot of energy for that. So I still probably will go live from time to time, but you probably aren't going to see me again until I get the trunk floor pan installed on this side, and I'll upload that video. Things may change, but that's where I'm at right now. So I appreciate all you guys. Thank you so much. Look at this. I have the quarter panel installed, and I could not have done this without so many of you guys. So many of you have helped me get to this point. Again, 10 months ago, I didn't even know how to weld. And here I am, installing quarter panels on a Mustang. So that is awesome. And again, a huge thank you to you guys for being there for me, posting in the comments, giving me advice, sending me emails. You guys are awesome. So I'm going to continue working on this diligently. I'm just not going to be posting videos as frequently. So I'll check in from time to time. I'll probably go live here and there, but I'm going to try this for that phase of the car to see how it goes. So guys, thank you very much for being so awesome, and until the next episode, stay driven.